So a box and whisker plot shows the distributions of a set of data or numbers, dividing it into 4 equal parts using the median, which is the middle number, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And quartiles. A box and whisker displays data using 5 summaries of the data. And that is your minimum. So that's the smallest number in your set. The maximum, that's your biggest number in the set. Then number 3, that's your median. So the exact middle number. Median, the number in the middle, and then the lower quartile is the median of the lower half of the data. So from the smallest number to your median is your lower quartile. The upper is your median to the biggest number. Okay, so box and whisker, just like the name says, box, and we've got 2 whiskers. So this is what it looks like. You've got your range, your minimum, your smallest. You've got your maximum, your largest number. They break it up into 4 pieces. So our median here, our median of the lower quartile, and the middle of the upper quartile. Okay? That'll make sense when we actually look at some numbers. So make a box and whisker plot given the data below. So the first thing we want to do is let's put these numbers in order from least to greatest. That'll help us find the median. So take a second, least to greatest, all these numbers. Okay, so then we look at this number. We've got how many in our set? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got 11 numbers, an odd number. So that tells us there's just going to be one median, one middle number. We're not going to have to find it. Can y'all tell what that middle number is, the median?
66.
Good, 66. So that's our median. Yeah. So 66. So just like up at the top, how they have that line in the middle of that box that's kind of pointing to your median, we'll do that down here on this number line. So at 66, I'm going to go ahead and put a line. So that's representing my middle number of the whole set, the median. Okay, so then we're splitting this up into upper and lower. So your lower portion, that's from your smallest number up to your median. Okay, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers there. So one number that's in the middle is your median of the lower quartile. In the middle of these 5 numbers. So right now, just look at those 5.
64.
Good.
Yeah.
64.5.
Just 64.
Just 64.
Oh.
Because there's 2 65s.
Because we have an odd number, there's 5 of them, so there's just going to be one middle number. Bless you. So same thing, just like we put a median little line there representing 66, we can put a line above 64. So that's the middle of that lower quartile. So the lower quartile is 64. That's our middle number.
Wait, can I see the other median?
Okay, so then look at your upper. So that's from the median all the way to the biggest number. Same thing. 68.
I thought it was 69. Oh my gosh. We're actually 268. You have to make the middle.
69 is your biggest number. That's your highest number. So the upper quartile, our middle number is 68. Do the same thing. Make a line above 68 on your number line. Now with those 3 little sticks, I just marked the median for each. The upper quartile, the median, and the lower quartile. So I'm going to make a box.
Oh.
So that's my box.
Cool.
And the whiskers.
Whoa.
Those whiskers are going to reach out to, Thomas, please stop. Those whiskers are going to reach out to your upper, your highest number, and your lowest number, which was 60. So my minimum and my max. Okay? Yeah. Okay, so we just created a box in Whisker plot. So now we're going to answer some questions about already created. So on number 2, gave us a box and Whisker, and it says, what's the median? For this number line, would you say, Antonio? 82. Remember that middle number that's right in the middle? That's showing you what your median is.
Yeah, it's always the line in the box.
It's always the line in the box. That's right. So 82 on number 2. That's your median. Number 3, the question is, what's the range? How do we find range?
60 minus 5.
How do we find it, though?
Maximum minus minimum.
Good. Maximum number minus your minimum number. So in this case, it would be 8
minus 6.
or 16, sorry. 16
Minus 5.
minus 5.
Oh, it is. I said 9. I'll write my 9's good.
Number 4, what is the interquartile range?
Oh, I know what that means.
In the box.
In the box, good. So number 3 was asking what's the range of all of those numbers. This number 4 is just your interquartile. So just looking at the box, not the whiskers now. So what is your maximum on the box?
65 and
85
85.
And 65.
and 65. Got our upper quartile and our lower quartile. So just like you would find range any other time, take your biggest number, subtract that lowest number. 85 minus 65. Okay, on number 5, it says what percentage of data is between 70 and 100? So remember, when we've got box and whisker plots, they're splitting it up really into 4 separate sections. Each is worth 25%.
25% to you.
So what that means is from here to here, good.
Okay, yeah.
What percentage would that be? It would be 75%. 25, either 25 times 3, or if you can visualize that, think of money. Okay, on the back, these are more examples. Shh. These are more examples. We're going to work these together. Maybe at the end, we'll kind of do some on our own. But example 1, so first thing, make a box and whisker plot given the data below. Your first step is to put them in order from least to greatest. So take a second, smallest to biggest, put those in order. Okay, so they're in order, least to greatest. So what's going to be, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. So we're going to have to do it a little bit different on this one. In this case, shh. In this case, what's in the middle? We've got even numbers, so we know we're going to have 2 middle numbers. What's in the middle? Dante? Okay, so it should be 64 and 57. But, hey, we need 1 number as our median, not 2. So how do we find that? Good. So add those 2 numbers and then divide by 2. We're just finding the average of those to find what our real middle number is.
Isn't it at 59?
It's 121. Isn't it 60.5?
Yeah.
1.
What is it? See,
What do you divide it by?
it's 7, and then you divide 7 by 2, and 6 by 5, and you add that to 50.
It's 61.
It's 6.5. It's 60.5.
Okay, so 60.5. So 60.5, that's our median number. So we can go ahead on our number line and we can put a little line. I mean, it's going to be like right after 60. Or really, you could put it on 60.
What?
Right in between that first hash mark. Okay, so that's our median. Our median is 60.5. Okay, so then we've got to find our lower quartile and our upper quartile. So the lower quartile, let's see. So since our middle is between 57 and 64, our numbers are actually going to go from the very smallest number up into that first number that was our middle.
So 51 and a half.
So yeah, 51.5 will actually be our lower quartile number. So lower quartile, 51.5, lower quartile. So then that means the same thing over here. So from 64 all the way down.
72.
So 72.5. If you've got an even amount of numbers, just know you'll always be finding the average of those two. You won't have just one set number. So upper quartile is 72.5. So since we already have our median drawn, we have that line drawn, we can go ahead and put two more lines, one for the lower quartile at 51.5 and one at the upper at 72.5. So we can make a box out of that. So 51.5 about right there. And the upper 72.5, so about right there. So once we have those three quartiles drawn, make a box out of it. Connect them. Okay, so then my minimum and my maximum. I've got to make my whiskers now. So my whiskers need to be pointing out to 48 for my minimum.
86. For your max.
And my max was 86. So your whisker needs to go all the way out to 86. All the way up. Okay?
Is that it?
That's it for creating the box and whisker. Okay, so creating is kind of the worst part. Answering questions to ones that are already created for you, not so bad, right?
What is the mean?
So what is the median on number 2? What's the median?
3. 60.5.
Should be 3.
Yeah.
It's 7.
Okay, so number 3. They've already made a box and whisker for you. Number 3, what's the range? How do we find the range?
Y minus 2.
I'll bet. Upper quartile minus.
No, 8 minus 1.
Good. You're looking at your whiskers for range because you're finding your maximum number minus your minimum. So 8 minus 1, which is should be 7. Okay, then on number 4, just like we did on the first page, what's the interquartile range? So we're just looking at the box. So just looking at your box, not your whiskers, what's your maximum number? 5. What's your minimum number in the box? 2. So 5 minus 2, 3. So just remember that difference. If it asks for range, it's asking for out of all the numbers, what is your biggest number subtracting your smallest number. Interquartile is just your box, not your whiskers. Okay, then on number 5, what percentage of the data is between 1
50.
and 5?
75%.
Yeah, my bad.
We've got 25, 25. Should be 75%.